Hey, hey, hey! It's your girl, Hannah the Bianca again. If you have watched the video that I did right before this on tips on what to do when you are laid off, I shared 4 tips earlier. And in this video, I want to go ahead and share the final 3 tips. I wanted to split them up. I realized that there were, just a lot of meat there, and I wanted you all to just digest what was happening. So decided to do this second video. This is the part 2 of what to do if you are laid off. As I shared before, amidst this COVID-19 crisis, a lot of employers are being faced to lay off to reduce their workforce size. So unfortunately, one of the ways that they do reduce their expenses is by looking at salaries and figuring out who to cut, right? It's usually just the biggest expense. So the first 4 tips that I shared, in case you missed it, is do not be afraid. Don't take it personal. I share about some of the strategies that businesses use for laying off, like how they decided to how they decide who they're going to lay off. I also talked about knowing the difference. So knowing the difference between a layoff and a furlough, I explained that difference. Also, being resume ready is tip number 4. So if you have not watched that, make sure you go back into my channel, depending on where you are watching, whether Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you found me. Make sure you go and find part 1. If this is your first time watching, I am Hannah Bianca Gant. I am one of the HR experts at Career Image Solutions, where we help job seekers get the careers that they want. And we also help companies hire, retain, and stay out of the courtroom. Say amen, somebody. I love what I do, love what I've been able to do. One of the things that I'm enjoying a lot, even recently, is helping other HR professionals that want to learn how to monetize what they know in HR and turn it into a profitable business. So if any of those resonate with you, any of those services resonate with you, make sure you check us out. Email us at services@career-image.com. Check us out on social media. Check us out online at career-image.com. So again, let me just get right to it. I'm going to share these last 3 nuggets with you. And again, feel free to share, subscribe, make sure you share. Again, this channel is primarily centered around HR, encouragement, inspiration, business, you name it. But the product of who I am is an encourager. So I'm always trying to make sure that you are encouraged with whatever information that I am leaving you with. All right, are you ready for our 3 tips? All right. So tip number 5, get clear and reset, right? Again, I know that COVID-19 is a different climate for many of us, and we don't know what is going to happen, but I want to encourage you all to get clear and reset. This is a great time. As one of my good friends recently mentioned, I was watching a telly summit with Les Brown, Cindy Trim, one of my good friends, Tiffany Bethia, as well as Dr. Ken Robertson, can't think of, there's somebody else that was on there, but one of the things that was shared in that telesummit is that, this is a good time for you to pivot. This is a good time to reset, to kind of get clear. So if you've been laid off, as sad as it might be, one of the things that you could do to really maximize this time is to really focus on, like, hey, listen, what is God calling me to do? Y'all know I'm big about that. I'm big about purpose. There's no point in spending 40 hours of your life every week and doing something and you're still not working towards your purpose. Sometimes you have to do what you got to do until you get where you need to get. However, if you don't know where you're trying to go, sometimes, like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Just like existing. There's more to life than to just exist. So I pray that you find your purpose. I pray that you that you get clear, that you can reset, because that's truly, I'm telling you, I shared this in part 1. A crisis is a terrible thing to waste. I got that from Apostle, from Reverend Celia, and from a conference that I attended. When she said that, it was just like, Right? Because so many times when, you know, crisis happens, so many people kind of get stuck. They don't know what to do. Nothing wrong with being still, right? But it's like, oh my gosh, you know, start complaining, stuff. But I mean, like, listen, it's time to pivot, baby. It's time to reset, right? This is the break you've been waiting for. And you're like, well, what about my money? Honey, listen, money will, your money will always be dried up, especially if you don't know where you're going. If you don't tell your money where to go, if you have no purpose behind your money, it will always go somewhere else. Somebody will be talking to your money. As soon as you get it, it's going right out. It's like, hey, come to me, because you're not telling your money where to go, because there's no purpose driven life, really forcing it, really attracting it to go elsewhere. So trust me, this is a perfect time to reset, perfect time to get clarity on your purpose, perfect time to figure out, hey God, what is it supposed to do? Perfect time for you to fast. Perfect time, perfect time to get your stuff together. All right, tip number 6, tap into your network. Please, oh please, oh please, oh please, oh please. If you've watched any of my other Ask HR nuggets segments, you know I'm always talking about your network. Your network, and I'm also part of a network marketing company, and we say this all the time. Your network equals your net worth. Period. Point blank. Ain't no way around it, right? So if you are one of those people that, oh, I stay to myself. I don't really fool around with too many people. Listen, I'm not asking you to be best friends with folks, but come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you going to call when you need, you ain't got nobody? You can't pick up the phone and call anyone and ask them about a position? You don't have nobody in your network? Nobody? If that is you, I'm not shaming you. I am telling you to get yourself together, but I'm not shaming you. I want you to tap into your network. I want you to expand your network. I want you to get out of your little box. In this decade that we are in, you can't be doing things by yourself. You cannot. You're not going to be doing things well. Your reputation is going to be based off of who you are, but it's also going to be based off of who you know. And again, if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know I truly believe that what God has for you is for you. But I'm telling you, He did not create you to be alone and to not say that you deal with other folks. Like, where's that at in the word, right? Okay. Tap into your network. And if you don't have one, create a network. This is not the time for your pride. Create new connections if you have to. And of course, it's COVID-19. So, bottom line is, nobody is eating lunch together at Panera. You're not taking anybody lunch. If you're still taking people out to lunch, Auntie Honeybee is going to give you a little tap, okay? Don't take anyone out to lunch during COVID-19 at all. Please and thanks. However, if you are on LinkedIn or Facebook, I mean, this is a great time for you to, contact those people that you haven't reached, that you met at that event last year, that you went to this, that networking event, you never contacted them. You're looking at the person's card right there in front of you right now. This is the perfect time for you to really tap into that network and create some connections, because I'm telling you, even if you are currently working and you're not laid off, or if you are laid off, like, you're behind the curve if you don't have any connections. But when things start to open up again, because there is a life after COVID-19, mind you, life will never be the same, but there is life after COVID-19. You want to make sure that you know some folks. I'm telling you, I've seen. Your network is powerful. It is powerful. It is powerful. So you want to keep that in mind. And then tip number 7, right? So in this video, I'm only giving 3 tips. So I'm giving you tip number 5, tip number 6, and tip number 7. All right. I really have my mother's hands. Like, we have really little hands. Tip number 7, you want to look at your economy. Okay. Facts. Look at your economy. I'm not talking about the U.S. economy. I'm not talking about the U.K.'s economy. I'm not talking about Sierra Leone's economy. What else have I seen people watch? I'm not talking about the Nigerian economy. Where else have I seen you all logging in from? I'm not talking about the Canadian economy, right? I am talking about your household economy. You have to look at your personal economy, especially if you're laid off. This is not the time to figure out how you can keep everything. This is a time for you to figure out, how can I maximize with the least amount, right? Yeah. So I remember when I was laid off, I shared that story in the first video. I cut that's when I cut off cable. Even though I wasn't laid off long. I think I was laid off for like 2 weeks. I wasn't on unemployment for a long time at all. But reality is that I cut off cable and I have not had cable since. And like I said, this was before kids. And yeah. But I cut off cable. Um, I reduced I figured out, of course, I wasn't eating out as much. There's just some things that you could do to cut back, just, so you can make healthier decisions, even if you are laid off, right? So again, just wanted to share those last 3 tips with you. And let me just leave this encouraging word with you. So you want to really, COVID-19 is here. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. I already talked about it in the last video, not to be afraid. But the bottom line is like we have to be adaptable and ready for change. As we can see, 2020, you have to be ready for change at any given moment. You have to be ready to go with the change. People that are not able to change with the pace of what life brings them get left behind. So Isaiah 43 says, see, I am doing a new thing. And my God is doing a new thing. He has us exactly where he needs us, which is pray, because that's all we could do. We can't do nothing else. We can wash our hands all we want to and wear our mask and all of that stuff. But the reality is he's doing a new thing, and all we can do is pray. So God is doing a new thing. He's doing a new thing. Don't miss the window. Don't miss the boat. Get prepared. Get your insight. See what the Lord is saying. Don't look to social media to see what the newscasters are saying. Don't look at, the news that's just, they're saying this one day and then something else the next day, right? Don't look to all of that. Look to him, to whom, which cometh your help, right? You want to look to the hills, look to the hills, look to the hills. Get your answers there first, so you know what to speak. Get your answers here so you have wisdom on how to react to the change. Because if we just give into our flesh, what happens is that we will find ourselves making really bad decisions, because our decisions are being based off of fear, and they're being based off of the fact that we feel like we ain't ready. And so we just have to be ready for change. We have to be ready for change. If 2020 hasn't taught you anything else, please let it teach you that, and let it teach you to seek to just seek his face, so that he can speak to you, because he wants to. He's speaking to you even now. He's speaking to you. He cares about your job. He cares about your career. What makes you think he cares about that thing, but not this thing? You know what I'm saying? So be encouraged, be encouraged. If for those of you that are interested in additional services, feel free to reach out at services@career-image.com or career-image.com. So if you're watching this in, anyway, just reach out to us. Until next time, don't forget to command your day.